Honestly, it feels like the Nancy, Steve and Jonathan love triangle in Stranger Things was all about the Duffer Bros. Steve feels like a revenge fantasy for all the boys that bullied them, always being held accountable and facing consequences for his actions by others and himself throughout all seasons. I did not like Steve in Season 1. His treatment of Nancy and Jonathan is disgusting and rightfully got slapped by Nancy and his ass whipped by Jonathan. At least Steve held himself accountable, took responsibility for his actions and tried his best to make amends and saving Nancy and Jonathan's lives in the process. Explains the massive amount of physical and emotional punishment he was put through. Why his character was regressed in Season 5 to be a version of Steve Jonathan thought he would be in Season 1 and became the butt of everyone's jokes, even his dreams were made fun of. And his character ending becoming a skirt chaser stuck in high school and never being allowed to move past Nancy. Nancy also feels like a revenge fantasy for all the girls that said no. Those absolutely disgusting photos Jonathan took of her undressing and making it all worse by being put into a relationship with the pervert. Being punished for Barb's death for choosing to have sex with Steve in a healthy teenage relationship to that point, and yet we were supposed to be angry at Nancy for it. Having her character attacked by both Jonathan and Barb simply because she was ready for a relationship and sex and they weren't at the time. And in Season 2. Cheating, if you chose to see it that way. On Steve with Jonathan in a completely foobar way. I mean, seriously, a 40-plus-year-old man gets two minors drunk, then mentally and emotionally manipulates them into having sex. Why more people aren't disgusted by this is beyond me. Yet we are meant to be rooting for her and Jonathan in Season 2 despite Jonathan and Nancy being in the wrong here. Her disgusting treatment from Jonathan and Steve in Season 1, and it really did anger me that she ended up back with Steve at the end of Season 1. She deserved so much better. Let's not forget her continued mistreatment from Jonathan throughout all seasons. Nancy in the epilogue feels like the version of Nancy Jonathan thought she should be in Season 3. Jonathan feels like he represents the Duffer Bros themselves. This drugged-up loser was never once held accountable for anything ever. Those disgusting photos of Nancy and Steve in Season 1. I find it deeply concerning that it was shown that Nancy never understood the true severity of what had really been done to her. Jonathan violated her in one of the worst ways imaginable. That's not in a physical manner, and she's all like, yeah, this guy's a catch, better hitch my wagon to his before somebody else does. WTF. Completely ignoring the blatant sexism and misogyny Nancy suffered in Season 3 and turning a blind eye to the constant humiliation she was subject to by the a-holes at the post. Jonathan literally telling her welcome to the real world. If someone treated a female I love, actually any female, like that, then you bet your ass I'm saying something. I'm not looking the other way like that knob. The constant lies to Nancy in Seasons 4 to 5, planning on slowly breaking up with her, lying to her about Emerson and throwing away her favorite pink sweater, plus his pathetic insecure man-baby behavior towards Steve. All this and then some, and no consequences whatsoever. Not once has Jonathan ever been held accountable. Seasons 1 to 4 I absolutely love, but Season 5 just seems like piss-poor written fanfiction with Jonathan as the quasi-main character.